Hey guys, thank you for stopping by to watch another video here at All I See is W, where the goal is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. In today's video, I wanted to cover Bitcoin price making a huge run today, all the events leading up to the inauguration on Monday. There's so much movement with Bitcoin. ETFs are being created in 2024, like IBIT, and so much investors are putting their money in ETFs, companies buying up Bitcoin, countries buying up Bitcoin. United States, different states around the country are talking about setting up a strategic reserve to buy up Bitcoin. So there's so much action with Bitcoin. What does this mean? I mean, we know Trump is going to announce news about the executive order, getting a strategic Bitcoin reserve going right away. And this is what's driving up the price, in addition to the stability that's set up with ETF creation. So, all of this coming into play, along with different countries trying to get involved with Bitcoin. United States being the number one country in terms of the most Bitcoins that is held on the treasury. Number two is China, but it's really a race right now between countries to gain the most Bitcoin to establish economic power and political power. So Trump knows that, and that's why he's leveraging the best digital commodity out there, and that's Bitcoin. Now, in today's video, I also wanted to cover a Bitcoin mining company that is Marathon Holdings, ticker MARA, the biggest North American miner with the biggest hash rate. In fact, they have hash rate that is not at the number of any Bitcoin miner that has that type of hash capacity. On top of their HODL, no other Bitcoin miner has that amount. So the next company that's ahead of Mara right now is MicroStrategy, but I'll cover all the updates. We saw some amazing price actions in the miner sector as well. Mara, in fact, got close to about 10% gain. So we'll talk about what my overall fundamental and technical analysis, including price targets, are for Mara in the year 2025. Let's get started, guys. First off, I wanted to talk about just assets ranked by market cap. So we're looking at all of the different market caps, and you see here Bitcoin over $2 trillion in Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin is so new, and they just ran up to about $2 trillion in market cap. You know, in the United States, we have trillions of dollars. We're losing a lot of money. Inflation is really killing us. We're just printing more and more money trying to solve problems. But I think Bitcoin is the strategy to really prevent all of that from happening. But I think with Bitcoin at rank number seven, I think heading into 2025, we're going to see Bitcoin bypass Amazon, Google, even Microsoft. Can we, get Bitcoin up to like level two and level three? It may take more time to go beyond gold, but where we are with Bitcoin, the ETFs for Bitcoin, pass through gold ETFs, through the water. So I think, Bitcoin can easily catch up to the gold commodity sometime next year and get into the $18 trillion and be the number one, top asset by market cap. So it's not a matter of if Bitcoin will get there. I mean, it's bypassed Tesla, Meta, Broadcom, all these other companies. So it's heading up to, top number three very soon here. So let's take a look at this posting on X. So Bitcoin Magazine announced that Bitcoin miner Mara embedded a portrait of Trump in a BTC block just to honor his inauguration. So here's this picture, timestamp of today, the weight here. So total fees, 1.2 Bitcoins, mining that in the miner Mara pool. So this is really a stamp here of acknowledgement for Donald Trump. I'm sure he's seen this and he will work with the North American miners. So there's a reason to all of this. It all comes down to marketing and branding of Mara. But there's going to be some huge upside between Mara and the US Strategic Bitcoin Reserve with the executive order. So all of this is really good news. I think this is all but marketing, and that's really going to lead to the success of Mara heading into the year 2025 here. Let's take a look at an article here. Stock traders buy high volume of Mara call options. So we saw a huge anomaly today, extremely large options trading on Friday. Stock investors purchased, close to about 500,000 call options on Mara ticker. This is an increase of close to 50% compared to the average daily volume of 327,000 call options. So that's a significant increase with call options. Why? There's anticipation of upside. We know that Trump, when he first was in the term for presidency, what happened in the stock market? Things just started running up. And if that happens again, once Trump enters the White House, it's expected that we're going to have stock market as well as the Bitcoin community. These miners will definitely take advantage and price will start going up. Let's take a look at technicals now. We're looking at Mara here, just looking at it, from like November through December of last year, heading into 2025. So I have some technicals here. RSI, we're showing a bull indicator at one point, early January, extremely oversold under 2025. I like seeing RSI, around that 20 range. That's an indicator that it's been oversold. That's when you want to capitalize buy when people are fearful, are bored of the stock not moving so much. They're looking for, plays that have, fast return on investment, which is why they're not buying these things. But this is where you capitalize when stocks actually go down. If, a company has a solid fundamental strategy. Of course, there's dilution factored in, but you have to kind of assess the trade-off between the two based on technical analysis. Looking at just the volume picking up here, I have a support line that was previously drawn at $16. I didn't think that it was going to get below, 16.50. We did see it reach 16.66 a couple days ago, but good news is that we broke through the Ichimoku technical indicators cloud here. Current price today, at one point it got up into the double digits percent gain. Ended the day, at the high 1992. It actually broke through the $20 range, which I did forecast, in the near term. And we're going to see that tier one retest to, that, tier $24 before we start running up back into that tier level two, testing that prior resistance of $30 back when we saw that around the time when Trump got inaugurated, going back to $30. But good news here is that in the near term, we broke through that cloud. We've passed the Ichimoku cloud. Think of the Ichimoku cloud as the gravitational pull down. Think of an airplane in between the clouds or below the clouds. It's really just going to cause that price to drop down. But the good news is the plane here is above the clouds, so it's floating above gravity here, so not impacted. But I do see upside here in that Mara's price action. What went down in 2024 will start eventually going back up because Mara, the last couple of months, I mean, just the last 6 weeks, it dropped by about 50%. So it dropped significantly, half of its value. But now we're going to see some huge upside run-ups. I'm thinking that, in the year 2025, I wouldn't be surprised if and when Mara breaks through $100. And there's Mara fanboys that believe that it could actually run above that. Some are even saying $200. I think that is, yeah, I wouldn't rule that out as improbable, probably unlikely for $200, but you never know. I mean, things can really blow things out of the water. We saw Mara run from like $2 up to like $80 at one point. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that happen. Let's take a look at another article here. We're looking at Bitcoin treasuries. So in blue would be like, the companies that own Bitcoin, and orange would be like financial institutions holding Bitcoin through ETFs, similar to like IBIT. But you take a look here, MicroStrategy, we do know MicroStrategy is the kingpin, the Titan powerhouse. They have 450,000 Bitcoins. Mara is the number two company in the world that has the most Bitcoins, close to about 45,000 Bitcoin. In fact, they mine about 1,000 Bitcoins a month. Uh, that just factors in, think about like 12,000 Bitcoins a year, but also they have the potential to buy up more Bitcoins. We saw them use convertible loans, $2 billion with a 0% interest up to 2030 to buy Bitcoin, which they did take advantage of. But one of the reasons from a fundamental standpoint why I think Mara has huge upside with its fundamentals is driven by the expected positive results when they announced their quarterly financial data in Q4, which is in February. So all of these events are leading up to upside because people who are taking call options on Mara believe that Q4, because Bitcoin price appreciated from Q3 through Q4 with the halving, all of that's really going to be factored in terms of revenue of the fair value price at the end of Q4 2024 when Bitcoin was at, above the 100K. So you factor in the HODL amount at the end of the year and price in the value of Bitcoin at the end of the year. That's basically the revenue minus the fixed costs for what was the cost to mine the Bitcoins that Mara has. But the interesting thing about Mara is that they also are taking advantage of loaning out their Bitcoin. So they're like a Bitcoin bank. In fact, with the announcement that they released about less than 2 weeks ago on their production data for December, they loaned out 7,377 Bitcoins to parties, and that's generating revenue. Like, think of it as a service-based revenue where you get interest paid. So Mara has created a service-based interests where they are actually getting paid on the spot for, stakeholders to use their Bitcoins. However, Mara does still count that as part of their HODL because technically they own that Bitcoin. But the interesting thing with Mara is that they energized their hash rate to 53.2 exahash. That's a 15% gain. They were able to mine, extreme high number of Bitcoins. November month, they mined 907. December month, they consistently mined the same amount, a slight reduction, 890 Bitcoins. So that's really how they're able to capitalize on, just being the number one company when it comes to Bitcoin mining. They have the highest hash rate. They're energized fleet efficiency. I think, they're around like the 21 joules per terahash. So in terms of what they pay for each Bitcoin, not the best in the market, but there's a give and take in that they have the highest hash rate, but overall fleet efficiency is, significantly better than most other miners out there. But I think because Mara has the infrastructure all around the global regions, they're here to stay. They're tapping into, potential AI technology, also leveraging renewable energy as well, with the recent acquisition of a facility in Texas. So it'll be interesting to see how Mara leverages innovation through renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and continuing to evolve the business while ramping up hash rate, continuing to mine Bitcoin and being a Bitcoin bank. So as a result, fundamentals are great. We did hear about, the request to increase the available shares through ATM. But I think that just with Bitcoin Catalyst going up to 200,000 in the year 2025, as well as just seasonality analysis with Mara. We see a tendency when Mara underperforms with the prior year, the current year tends to be the negative inverse correlation. So because 2024 was a bad year, 2025 is going to be a great year for Mara, and that's why I think there's 3 to 5x potential here. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know what you think. And please make sure to hit the like, subscribe to All I See Is W. Thank you.